We're good. We are live and alive. So this is how we'll start it. Narelle, thank you so much for jumping on with me today.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a pleasure, and I'm like nervous and excited at the same time to hear what comes out of this.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I always like to start it by allowing you to promote yourself, promote your business. As we dive in, we'll get deeper. But start off. Who are you? What do you do? How do you make money? Who are your clients?
That's interesting because it's on Friday nights. My fun thing to do is to go to this place called Breathe Degrees, and
Uh,
it's like it's like the usual. It's the cold plunge, the infrared sauna, the breath work thing. And the owner of it, the founder of it, super cool guy. His name's Tyler. And I asked him that. I'm like, hey, Tyler, what do you do? And he's like, I do a lot of things. I do cold plunging. I do, blah, blah. And so for me, it's like I do a lot of things. I walk down side streets in foreign countries. That's like one of my favorite things to do. I love putting sand between my toes. I love eating a good steak, and
awesome.
I love chocolate. And to fund all those things, right, I have to do something. And
Yeah.
that's where the sales part comes into it. And so I call myself, if you go to my Instagram, which I don't promote it and I'm not proud of that, but I spend too much time, or maybe not too much time, because that's what I'm supposed to do, talking about my clients for others. So what I do is I'm the name behind the name. So if you've ever heard of The Secret, which was a book that I think they sold, millions and millions of copies, 50 different languages all over the world, pretty much every author in there at one point in time has been my client. So I work primarily with high-level motivational speakers that have been New York Times bestsellers and are New York Times bestsellers, or business coaches that are on the platform speaking to thousands and hundreds of people. And what I do is I architect. I call myself a revenue architect. So it's like, okay, you want to have an event, you want 3.2 million on the back end. Let's reverse engineer it, bring me in. We'll figure out, how many people do we need? What is the product stack going to be? Where are we going to host it? Who's going to be the event producer? What's it going to feel like? What's that speaker going to say from the front of the room so that it lands with the audience, so that it converts in the back of the room, whether that be live or virtual. So I've been doing that for, well, I'm not 25, so it's been a little bit longer than 5 years. I really truly think that I was one of the pioneers of virtual event conversion, because we had a big speaking event. It was at Torrey Pines. It was funny because Obama had just left the presidential suite and we took over the presidential suite, but we had like that was our team room, right? But we had the event down in the ballroom, and we had, I think it was like 1,400 people came. And one of we had a big speaker there. And then we had a host that was doing the live stream. And I was like, you know what? Let's sell on live stream. And they're like, oh, no, you can't do. We're just making this, I'm like, no, let's sell on live stream. So I created a spreadsheet, took a couple of the salespeople that were meant to be on the floor, shoved them in front of the computer, and was like, okay, let's roll. And then we did, after the event, we invited everybody that was on live stream to come into the presidential suite via camera, right, with the big name speaker. And this was like 11 o'clock at night. And so we had people from all over the world, Japan, South Africa, Australia, England, And I had a sales team literally in the hallway, and we were grabbing phone numbers on pieces of paper. This is a long time ago, right? And we were tossing them out the door. And they were calling the people, getting the credit cards, signing them up and rolling them. And then we were ringing the bell and cheering.
Oh, I love it. All right. You're talking about a girl. This is fun.
We only made 65 grand that time. That was only 65,000. But I'm talking, this was back in like 2013. So a long time ago. So I like to think I'm one of the pioneers of the virtuals.
2013. I didn't even realize that the industry was around. So that's awesome.
So I might have closed a few high tickets and trained a few teams in my time.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Who? Obviously, Rhonda Byrne from The Secret, right? Who else? Any other notable names that we should be aware of?
Oh, who have I done? Well, a lot of them do NDAs because they
I was
don't,
just saying, it might be
it's
NDAs.
like, hey, they don't want anyone else to think that somebody is behind it. But a lot of Mind Valley authors. So if you're
Okay.
familiar with the Mind Valley platform, closed deals for plenty of the big guys out there. So I'm not going to drop names, but if they got like 16 million, 17 million followers, I might have been a part of it.
All right, that's good to know. Well, geez Louise, glad we're connected. And then what's your biggest focus in your business right now? Are you actively taking on clients? You tell me, what are you doing in the business currently?
I am at a point that I get to pick and choose. So it's really cool. And I think we all should pick and choose who we work with. It's like, if the energy exchange is there, and by that, I mean, we vibe well, we get on well. And then of course the compensation that's going to come is there, then I'll look at it. But currently investing a lot of my focus with a company called COO Alliance, which is the world's biggest membership organization for second in commands. And that is led by Cameron Herold. And Cameron actually took 1-800-GOT-JUNK from like 60 million to 950 million. And so Cameron's a phenomenal speaker, but he's also built this amazing community. And so about a year ago, him and I got together, actually be more than a year ago. We met at a baggage turnstile in Tallinn, Estonia. And I was like, hey. And he's like, hey. And then I was like, because my company years and years ago got bought out by 1-800-DENTIST. So I had a successful exit from that. But somehow Cameron and I started talking, and then it was like, what do you do? What do you do? And then we found this 1-800 connection. But so I'm driving partnerships, global partnerships for that, where we actually have endorsed partners that are sponsored that get the opportunity to be in front of our community. We've got like 43,000 on our email list that are CEOs and COOs. And so we currently have a couple of opportunities open. I'm really looking for a behavioral profiling company. That's kind of like at the top of my heart, and then a SaaS company. But we have the standard, the gold, silver, and bronze. But that we launched that in November last year, and we've only got like 4 spots left. So that's pretty cool.
And that's your COO Alliance that you're doing that for, right?
Yes, COOalliance.com. And Cameron wrote a book called Second in Command. Actually, let me grab it. It's a super cool book for anybody that's like wants to scale and is like trying to figure out how to be, the founder and to pass it over to the second in command. So this book, and if you hit me up, I'll get a free book sent out to anybody that sends me a message.
Awesome, perfect. I would love that.
But he's one of my clients that I can speak openly about, and obviously I believe in him and what he does. So I figured I'd bring that to the table because it's, there's so many freaking masterminds out there. And once upon a time, masterminds were kind of an elite thing. Now every Tom, Dick, and Harry has one.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like, oh, you're a founder, you make $10 million, come join my mastermind. Which I'm not against them. I think they're really cool. I'm part of Genius Network, Joe Polish. And it's an incredible network. And it's not, it goes down to that Dan Sullivan book, Who, Not How.
Sure.
So it's like figure out the who, not the how. But there's not many groups for the second in command, which is they have to deal with the founders, because the founders come out and they go to these masterminds, they come back with all these big ideas, and then they're like, figure it out. And you're like, hold on a moment. What's the profit margin? What's the lift on the team? The CEOs and the founders don't really think of that shit. So anyway.
I'm going to take that clip and send it back to Justin at the end of this call. So
hey, who's your second in command? Come on in.
That's right. That's me. I'm curious. Do you know Joel Perso?
Nope.
No, he's in that community, but he was our COO in the past. Now he broke off. He's running a fractional COO offer, but I was just curious if you knew him. I know that when he was with us, this was 2 or 3 years ago now, he had asked a Sphere Rocket to pay for his access to COO Alliance, and he always spoke very highly of it.
Ah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
it's a small world, right?
I think there's a lot of people in that mastermind, though, for what it's worth, right?
I think it's a small world, but I think the cream floats to the top.
100%. 100%. Yep. That's amazing. Okay, cool. So that's what you're mainly focused on right now is acquiring sponsors for the COO Alliance. You mentioned that you're looking for a SaaS company. What type of SaaS company are you looking for?
I would say like a CRM that we can, put as a recommended resource to our COOs.
Sure.
It's like, they're just evolving, continuing to evolve. We had a big, rapidly growing AI company that are coming in and helping companies create their AI within their infrastructure, and they're called Cadre AI, and they're pretty cool. So if people go to our website, cooalliance.com/partners, they'll see some of the endorsed partners. We've got mergers and acquisition guys, and so yeah, it's really cool.
Gotcha.
But that's some of my focus. But then I always keep my fingers out there, and I'll go in a couple of pots around. We've got to have multiple streams of income, right?
That's right. So 2 years ago, you'll appreciate the strategy if nothing else. 2 years ago, the business was in a much earlier stage, and we decided to go out and take a bet on ourselves, and we decided to borrow $1 million. Right, with that $1 million, we spent about $400,000 on stage acquisition. Right. Where we'd go out and sponsor different events. We would speak from the stages, et cetera. We turned that $400,000 into $2.5 million of annual recurring revenue, right? Today, our sales team is so wide that we're doing a lot more to cold traffic than we are events. But I tell you that just because you'll appreciate it being in the event sales world, right? And then secondly, if there's any sponsors that I can connect you to, obviously, we have a really good relationship with people like Follow Up Boss, which is more geared towards real estate. But GHL, the CEO of GHL, spoke at our last internal event at Sphere Rocket. So if there's any connections I can make for you, let me know.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. I'll send you a list afterwards. I'll totally take you up on that.
Amazing.
I'm going to go back to it's the who, not how. It's like if you get connected, you make the right connections, and the cream floats to the top.
That's right. Talk to me about you. So you got started. You were in this world in 2013. How did you get into this world in 2013? I've been in the industry for 8 years, and I thought that I thought I was a pioneer.
Hey, no way, no freaking way! Oh my God. So yeah, like I mentioned 1-800-Dentist, who bought out the company that I actually took from a little tiny executive suite with a yellow pages and a fax machine to 1,400 monthly residual dentists paying a fee. And that was back in the day when it was like, we still sold yellow pages. So it was like yellow page ad licensing. And I was like, you know what? We need these guys, the internet's coming. We need to get them on the internet. And I literally would call dentist's office and they'd be like, send it over. We don't have a fax machine. Like, you had to fax shit in those days. Send it over by a fax machine. I'm like, no, you need a website. And they're like, I'm a dentist, I don't need a website. And anyway, obviously the internet took off. So I was pretty lucky with that. But from that, one of the things that happens is, okay, put the dentists online, right? Phone starts ringing, but if their front desk is shit, it's not going to convert. So then I was like, okay, these guys need training because they might know how to drill a tooth, but they don't know anything about conversion. So then I was like, okay, we need to bring all these guys together. How about we have a live event, bring them together and actually teach their teams on sales? Yeah. So that got created. So then it was like, all right, well, if we bring them to this live event and we teach their team on sales and we teach them once, why don't we say to them, hey, would you like to us to hold your hand for an entire year? Could you imagine how much we can increase your profitability? So I created that back in the day.
Good.
And I can't even remember how much we sold it for. I think back then it was like $12,000. It was next to nothing. But you know what? 100 people sign up in the room at 12 grand. There's some nice cash.
You have a good day, absolutely. And at that rate, for who you were selling to, it's such a no-brainer offer. And really, at the end of the day, that's the trick to it. How do you make it an offer that's so easy that you have to say yes to it, right?
Some of them, you got those people out there that they're still stepping over, they're stepping over dollars to save pennies, though. And,
yes.
I think as sales, and I'll bring it back to sales because I know that that's like one of your favorite things to talk about. I think of sales as empowering people to make an educated decision.
Yep.
And giving them a nudge that sometimes they don't have the balls to do themselves without 100%. That nudge.
Yep.
Because it's like, otherwise they get in that freeze mode. It's like, oh, if I spend this $25,000, oh my God, it'll be gone out of my account. But it's like, okay, if you spend this 25 grand and I turn it into 250, do you want to play more?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. What is your, my background's in building and scaling sales orgs. I think I mentioned that to you before we jumped in. Over the last 7 years, I've scaled out 150 7-figure sales orgs, about a dozen 8-figure sales orgs, right? And I always have an opinion on what makes the top tier salespeople, the top tier salespeople, right? Obviously, you've scaled a bunch of sales teams and a bunch of sales orgs. So on your side, what separates the difference between a good salesperson and a great salesperson and a bad salesperson?
I always say to my team, it's like take your own agenda out of it.
Yep.
So go into a call, step onto the floor, wherever it may be, but you have to set your agenda aside. So the worst thing is this commission breath. Not every bit of money is a good bit of money. So make sure it's a fit. Listen. Make sure it's a fit, and don't enroll anyone that, just for the sake of your commission check.
Yes. I literally just got off a call with with one of my sales guys who was trying to get a deal across, and the client was asking for an exception on his invoice. And I said exactly what you just said, right? I don't mind making an exception for the invoice, but what you're asking me for is probably too difficult, right? So I would rather push you away from becoming a client with us than push the deal across. Would it be possible to meet me in the middle here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's possible. Okay, well, cool. Now that we're on the same page that we can have a constructive relationship, now come across. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, so, it's got to be that even energy exchange.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're out of alignment and you end up with somebody thinking that they row the boat, and then they end up being noisy most of the time.
Yes. And it's not just from the prospect side, right? It's from the sales rep side too. You have so many sales reps. I always try and mention to my team, sales is a team sport, right? Sales is a team sport. If you come in with this individualistic attitude, you won't make it because it's not golf, right?
Yeah.
The whole org work together.
I've actually really enjoyed some contracts and things where we've done pooled commission.
Yeah.
And creating. I love creating. Creating. I love crafting creative compensation plans. So I love doing comp plans. It's like, okay, let me get behind what are you paying your people currently? All right, let's go and tweak that so that you can actually get them motivated. Like I had somebody the other day tell me that they wanted to pay 3%, capped at $2,500 up to 250 grand. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, I'm not going to refer anything for $250,000 and you're going to give me $2,500, or my team's going to get $2,500 for it. That's not motivation.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, there's no. Yeah.
And they kind of looked at me like, huh? And I'm like, no. And like, think about it. I'm like, it's not worth it. I'm like, so no wonder your, joint venture, your collab thing's not happening because the people don't want to be promoting you.
You got to make it one of our core values as we've scaled this company to where it's at today is everybody wins, right? When we say everybody, we define it as 3 parties, right?
Yep.
Prospects. Does the prospect product that will serve them, sales
company,
team, right? And company.
Individual.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bingo.
exactly.
Exactly right. If it doesn't
Yeah.
hit on all three of those heads, and we, when we're trying to make a decision, we say, does this hit on all three? If yes, cool, let's move forward. If not, then let's move away.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Would you say that your background's more in sales operations or more in sales?
Well, I still get a thrill of the kill. So it's like I explained to someone the other day, I'm like, most of the people that work with me have said like she's kind of like a shark. If there's blood in the water, it's like she will get that fish and take it down because that's my fish. So I love that. I love the thrill of the kill, right? However, as I said, I'm not 25 anymore and going back to the pioneer days of, hey, go, tossing out pieces of paper with phone numbers to close deals. I wouldn't have been around for this many years without gathering a hell of a lot of knowledge and experience, and without having hit so many potholes and having to understand what does it really take to build a stable sales organization. Yeah, it's like there's a lot that goes into it, so I can't pigeonhole myself anymore because I've probably interviewed, I don't know, 1,000 people a year over the course of like 10 years. So when you add that up, that's a lot of interviews, right? So am I a recruiter? No.
Is it part of what you do? Though it sounds like it is.
Well, yeah. If I'm gonna be responsible for the rev on a company, then I want to have some part in the recruiting, right?
Yeah, of course.
Who gets in the door? I wouldn't interview them all to this day because we've got AI now, so it's like you got all that shit going on. But final word, yeah.
How are you seeing AI impact the sales world? Because from my side, I've seen a lot of AI being effective on marketing. I've seen it be effective on fulfillment. I've seen it be effective in ops, right? Anything on the sales side, I haven't seen it be too effective yet. Like when it comes to the dialing, I'd be curious to get your opinion, see if you're seeing anything different.
Well, when you think of it, AI is a QR code to a landing page, right? With a video of the guy that speaks in English, but he's really Portuguese.
That's absolutely.
There's like so many things. I mean, now you can take, instead of a webinar, you and I could be pretending. They could take an image of us, could have me walking across the stage talking about sales. The next minute they can copy it, edit it, and ship it to, Russia, and you've just duplicated somebody's 90 minutes. And you could do that in 7, 8 different countries, sales training, and sell it to organizations. So AI is coming in, it's a fireball. And if you don't learn it, which, everybody's got to learn it, but if you don't learn it, you're going to end up just in ashes behind it.
I was at an insurance event 2 weeks ago. I'll send you over the presentation just because you'll get a kick out of it, right? And that was my entire presentation was in the next 2 years, 50% of the insurance agencies in the room won't be in business anymore, right? But then the other 50% are going to make more money than they ever have and do it with less workload than they've ever had.
Yeah.
Because people will push against AI and they won't try and adapt to it. And other people are saying, yeah, I better learn it.
Exactly. It's kind of like COVID. I hate saying the C word, even though I'm Australian. The Aussies will get the undertone of that one. But COVID, it was like people either ended up dripping in money as a result of COVID, or they were like, oh dear, oh me. And I was like, I went all over the world. I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
Me and Justin, the founder, we talk about this all the time, right? We say, how lucky are we? How blessed are we? In 2020, we started an international staffing company. It's like, man, we got lucky there. We are not the smartest people in the room. We are not the best marketers in the room. We're not the best salesperson in the room, but we started an international staffing company the year that COVID just happened to take place. And man, we did well. We did well with that. You know what I mean?
Right place, right time. But you also had the innovation. You also had the wherewithal in, be it as crux as it might sound, the balls to go and do it. It was like other people were like, oh my God, it's COVID, you know, but it's like, yeah, let's go do something. Let's create something. And if we fall, well, we fall. But what if we don't? What if we fly? I know that's kind of like a hokey saying, but it's real.
The downside is so limited and the upside is so high.
Yeah.
You know, what's the biggest hindrance with all the teams that you've scaled and all the businesses you've scaled? What's the biggest hindrance that you've seen that prevented small business owners from scaling?
Personalities.
Tell me more.
It's personalities. Off the cuff, holy shit. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, you know, just bad behavior from adults that, you know, it's like can't restrain their emotions and just, yeah, it's like adults behaving badly.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like there's a direct example there that you're not saying that you could say.
There's so many of them. I'm like, I don't know which one to go for. It's like, you know, like from the CEO that has a big event that, you know, he's flown out like 20 of his sales team, and I'm like running the sales team out there. And the next minute I know that he's like at the strip club and half the sales team are doing lines with him, you know?
Yeah, that's a good example. That's
It's the truth. It's like, okay, these guys are supposed to be on the floor tomorrow. They're supposed to look sharp, and you've got them out partying. It's like, no, that's not the deal. That's not in my SOP.
Yes. Yeah. So good.
Yeah. So getting in behavior and adults behaving badly. You know, CEO should not be taking half the sales team to the strip club the night before. We've got, you know, 20,000, not 20,000. That one was like 7,500 qualified prospects coming. Yeah.
Okay, I've got a question. First off, note that to Justin again. I'm joking.
Although I will say, back in the day, one of my interview questions used to be, have you ever sold drugs? And if they said yes, I put that resume on the yes pile because it meant they knew how to hustle, they knew how to get creative,
yes.
and they weren't afraid of risk.
In college, I got started in network marketing, and the people that I tried to bring into the network marketing business was like, okay, this guy deals weed. Like, yes, he's going to do great with this.
Right. There you go.
That's so funny. Cool. I got to get running here in a little bit, but I do want to ask you a question. Obviously, we're having a good time. Is there anything that I can do to help your business? So we're just starting to get to know each other. Is there anything that I can do to help your business moving forward here?
You know, I'm a relationships person.
Yeah.
Not a transactional. I like to build on relationships, and I like to work with people and refer to people. And I also have that intuitive hit. So it was like, I'm just going to go out on a limb here right now. I don't know if you know Mike Abramowitz. Mike, I probably spelled his name wrong, but he has this warm referral method. For some reason, I feel like I want to introduce you to him. So I know you asked me, but I'm like, you know,
thank you very much.
I'm definitely a giver versus a taker. I feel much more comfortable in giving, and I don't expect anything back in return for it. But it's like, I think I've found from over the years being that way that it just naturally happens, you know. It just naturally happens. But introduce me to the HubSpot person that makes all the decisions on partnerships. Introduce me to Emirates Airlines. We want Emirates Airlines, the partnerships there, and then American Express would be amazing. Cameron would be super happy if we got those people on board.
I don't know if I've got a contact at Emirates.
Hey, I've been trying to swim around finding those people for months. And it's like, I've talked to a lot of people in the organization. They don't even know, you know, when the organizations get that big, it's like getting to that person. It's like, you know, what's the biggest challenge in sales? Gatekeeper. Getting to the decision maker.
I can 100% get you an intro to Ben, who's our CMO, right? And I know for a fact I can get you an intro to the team at GHL who does all the sponsorships. We recently bought an office out in Dallas, and they want their local chapter from our location. We give it to them for free just for conversations like this, where it's like, okay, cool. You now run your local chapter out of there, right? And now I can introduce you to Narelle when we need something.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
So,
I'll take it. Send it on over.
I will make that intro for you. And let's keep a relationship, Narelle. Would love to have additional conversations with you. So if there's anything else I can do, keep me posted.
Awesome. Yeah. It's so good to jump on here and just riff with each other. And it's like, I'm not a professional podcaster or a person. I'm just me.
You did amazing. You did great. Remind me, where are you from again? I know you're from Australia. Where do you live now?
I live wherever my feet are on the day.
Oh, you're in San Diego today. That's right.
Today I'm in San Diego. I could be in Australia next week. I might be in Brazil. I don't know. It's like wherever the wind
is. On your radar, just in case. Just in case. This is not finalized yet. I don't know are you into golf at all?
I once was a golf cart girl. I used to drive the beer around and do shots of Jaeger.
Well, if you want to be a golf cart girl and do shots of Jaeger, I'm not into golf at all.
That's exactly
so we can have a golf cart together. What do you think? In July, I think, or in August, we're looking at it right now. We're going to host a really high level mastermind for 8-figure business owners. Would love to invite you out to that because it'll probably be all your ICP, and we're trying to get like Tony Robbins out. We're trying to get Andy Elliott out, right? And then it's going to be like a golf tournament. So would love to invite you out to that just because I think you'll have people there that you know already, and you'll probably crush it.
Sounds good. Thank you for that. I appreciate that invite.
Details get finalized there.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Good.
Awesome.
All right. So we wrapping it up.
We're wrapping it up. And yeah, we'll talk soon.